is what we have. Okay, this is Carl again. Let's talk about a delicate subject, faith, religion, all that crazy stuff. I'm a Christian, but I've arrived here with an odd path. I grew up with a dad who was an atheist, and he was an atheist because of his experiences in World War II and what he saw in World War II. And so, I learned at a pretty young age, you didn't tell people you were an atheist because then you ended up getting in fights. So I would tell people I was non-denominational Christian. But that has changed as I've grown up and grown older, and now I really am a Christian, and we'll get to that story in a minute about I was baptized in the Armenian church. That would have been 12 years ago. And at about this time, I have faith, and I don't believe everything in the Bible, and I don't believe everything in any religious books, whether it be the Quran or the Talmud or whatever. I mean, they all have some good stuff in them. They all have some bad stuff in them. They have some stuff that's, obviously, I'll say it, made up. But they have some good stuff too. And, in the end, you have to decide whether you believe in something or not. And that's happened to me in my life, I believe. And, if you believe, well, then it becomes easier. This doesn't sound nice with the way I'm saying it, but you got to pick a side. And I picked the side I picked. I'm a Christian. That was the Bunny Museum. Sorry, that messes up the story. Anyway, I didn't get christened till after I had my surgeries with a cancer and was cancer free. I didn't get baptized till then because I didn't want people to think that I was joining the church because I was afraid of dying and having cancer. And I joined afterwards because it was a case of I joined because I had faith. And I hadn't been in a church before that, or been a member of a church before that. And I believe in God, and I think God helped me survive. And I mean, God's helped me survive so many times, it's, I could write a book. I've had a life of thrills and spills and a lot of adrenaline, and sometimes it was God and luck that got me through it. It wasn't anything else. I mean, I've had a parachute fail on me. I've been in car wrecks. I've fallen off mountains. Done a lot of things, and I think a lot of those things God was looking out for me. And it wasn't me. It was something else happening there. And I got to say, God has treated me real well. I mean, and this is coming from somebody who's had stage 4 cancer and had his house burned down and all those things that have happened to me. God has been really kind to me and really taking care of me and put some really nice people in my life. From my wife and my kids and my friends, and to be perfectly honest, my first wife, and you know, I've been blessed with a lot of people, good people in my life, that my life would be less without them, and the only way they're there is, I think, God's blessing and looked after me. And you know, I'll say God has a plan. I sure in the hell don't know what it is. Probably shouldn't cuss when I'm talking like this, but I don't know what it is. But I think there's some reason behind it all. And now there's also, you know, man has free will, and that's what makes us man. And you know, that we're allowed to screw up our lives and our world in our own ways, and maybe that isn't always following the plan, but it is what it is. But anyway, I came to my faith, like I said, I got christened after the cancer, but you know, when you have like cancer, it gives you some time to think. And yeah, I thought a lot about life, and you know, what things meant, and what was important and not. And you know, I hold most Christian values. And now, I'm not saying I'm a good Christian, though, because you know, some things I'm not. A lot of things I'm not. Let's just be perfectly truthful. But I try to be a good person, and I, you know, think when it comes time, I can face my judgment on what I do. And like I said, I'm not necessarily a good Christian, not always done good things. But you know, I have faith in fair judgment. I guess that would be the way to put it. And I just know there's an awful lot of good in the world, and there has to be some explanation for a lot of that good. And you know, I've known a lot of people, seen a lot of things, that bad things happen and good comes out of them, but one of the things is you know, people manage to be happy afterwards, and I think a lot of that is you know, their beliefs in God's work in it. And you know, it always gives you also something to fall back on. Now, you know, there are a lot of people who are a lot more religious than me and do a lot more things. By religious, when I say they're a lot more religious, they're not necessarily a lot more religious in belief, but they're a lot more religious in following all the details of whatever sect of church they're following. I'm not a good follower of any church. Like I say, I belong to the Arminian Church. I'm very happy with them. They've treated me nice. But anyway, that's my turn on faith. Now, you know, you may believe something else, or believe, you know, anything. That's your choice. We're part of the free will, and free will is an important thing, but just remember, it makes you responsible. So that's my take on it all.